My name is Ahmed Zahran. I'm with a company called Carm Solar, and we work on renewable energy projects. We are a utility company, so we work on power generation, power distribution, and power management. So Carm Solar is the original company that we started with. This is the one that is working in investment in solar stations. This is the one that is working in the design of different renewable energy and solar solutions. And as we were working, we started expanding and integrating into various other sectors that are intersecting with the energy sector. So we thought, instead of just installing solar panels on top of buildings, why not work on the design of the buildings themselves so that we make sustainable buildings that require less energy and has a lower carbon footprint to start with. And that's how Carm Architecture Lab was built. And after that, we started looking at water, and we realized that water at the end of the day is something that requires energy for production, especially if you're working on desalination of seawater. So we started Carm Water to work specifically on that. In the areas, the coastal areas where we have power generation and distribution, why not add the water layer and provide our clients with water that is desalinated from the sea as well. And that's how Carm Water was born. I used to live outside of Egypt, and when I came back, I was one day on a site visit to a farm in the desert, and they had an energy problem. They were completely dependent on diesel. I remember it was winter, and it was quite sunny, and I thought, why not convert that entire place to work with renewable energy, specifically solar, instead of being dependent on diesel. And I realized that there must be a reason why people have not done that before. And it turned out there are economic and technical challenges to get that done. So it was the idea of whoever is going to be able to solve those technical and economic problems would be able to have a new company or a new venture. And I thought, why not start with doing something like that? We have a lot of big projects, but we currently have the power distribution rights in the northern part of the city of Marsa Alam. And maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we would not have ever imagined that this is something that would be possible. But this is one of the biggest projects we're working on, and one of the ones that we're really proud of. On the other hand, in the Western Desert, we're currently building another power grid that is going to be in the Farafra oasis, and it's also going to include a lot of power generation from solar. It's going to be around 60% from solar, and it's going to be connecting a lot of farms that currently have an energy problem. Definitely, there are a lot of challenges that we have to work with, especially that we're working in a sector that is quite new, not just in Egypt, but globally. There are many things that are still in the exploration phase in terms of economics, in terms of technical abilities of what we can and cannot do. The main challenge is making renewable energy a mainstream source of energy, and this is not the case today. Today, our grids, our homes are powered by fossil fuels, and this is the easiest way that people know of getting their electricity. And we're currently working on building the economic and technical models that would allow us to overtake that using renewable energy. And that is our biggest challenge at the moment. So when we started in 2011, we used to get the type of questions like, is solar energy capable of running my house? Is solar energy capable of running the fridge? People used to think that solar energy is the type of energy that is not reliable, that cannot run real businesses or real energy requirements. But a kilowatt hour is a kilowatt hour at the end of the day, regardless of whether it's coming from solar or from any other source. And what we were trying to achieve over the past 10 years is to change that perception of people that solar energy is a reliable source of energy. And I think that type of awareness is already there, and it's very different from where we started 10 years ago. The big dream that we have is something called the super grid. That's the power grid that will be connecting a lot of countries together, and that would expand our market considerably. And this is something that we're really aiming to achieve within the coming 10 to 15 years. Instead of working within the restriction or the borders of Egypt, that actually the work that we're doing in Egypt to be influential, not just in Egypt, but in other places that will eventually be connected to Egypt. This is something that we're working on with partners across the region, with the aim of hopefully getting it done within the coming 10 to 15 years. We really do not care about what ESG requirements are. We do what we do because we believe in it. So even if those requirements were not there, we would still be doing what we are doing. The environmental and social requirements that are imposed by a lot of governments, a lot of financial institutions is something good, but it is not the motivation for what we are working on. What we are working on is an expression of our values, of what we believe in, and what we think is possible, within the context of our country and within the context of the planet, and that's why we work on that. So I think Minds Alike is special because we lack constant activity of networking that we know is happening every month, that we know will be a venue for us to meet friends, either periodically or new friends who we get introduced to. It is something that we needed within the ecosystem, and it's a great place to collect ideas, to network, something that is needed in the market. And the time when Minds Alike stopped, that's when the value of what Minds Alike is offering was quite obvious, because we were used to it and suddenly it was gone for quite some time. So when it was back, people really felt the value, and that's why the first event after it came back was quite popular. Minds Alike is different from other types of networking events in two ways. It is frequent, once a month, so you have certain expectations that helps with the planning. And the second thing, the audience is targeted. So you kind of know what type of people are going to be there, where do they come from, what type of businesses probably they're involved with, what type of challenges they're facing. So there's always a lot of things to be discussed and a lot of ideas to be explored. One of the main things that you can get from Minds Alike is the fact that it will be a good starting point if you're looking for specific people to talk to, if you're looking for specific support. And that's because the network that is created for Minds Alike today touches upon many sectors. There are very few degrees of separation from a lot of people in the country and probably in the region through Minds Alike. And I think this is a great benefit that filled a gap that existed in the ecosystem today. When Minds Alike started, I thought that this was going to be another thing that would be a good initiative that would probably stay for a bit and then vanish. But actually it stayed, and this allowed many people, not just me, to benefit from it. I would say the most important bit is networking. So the fact that it happens frequently, once every month, meant that you are able to build friendships through Minds Alike. And this happened to me. And one of the venues where we get to meet is Minds Alike, but it extended beyond that. I wish that Minds Alike would change into a house similar to the ones that have been around in Europe for a while, that act very close to what a social club is in Egypt, but they are more targeted and more specific towards the business community or other specialized communities. I think that Minds Alike would qualify to become something like that. So instead of happening every month, it would be a daily activity that people would be able to use whenever they have the time or the need.